Good afternoon. How is everybody? Welcome to the Integrity Conversation. Okay, what are we going to take on today? Integrity of responsibility. This is it. I'm going to share a couple things, like what does it actually mean to be responsible? How does one learn to be responsible? Perhaps it's by listening and being in another person's world. Well, first, I'd like to create a distinction of responsible and what it actually means to be responsible. I'm going to generate a page from some training and development that I did years ago. Responsibility begins with the willingness to be cause in the matter of one's life. Ultimately, it's a context from which one chooses to live. Responsibility is not burden, fault, praise, blame, credit, shame, or guilt. In responsibility, there is no evaluation of good or bad, right or wrong. There is simply what's so and your stand in the matter. Being responsible starts with the willingness to deal with a situation from the view of life that you are the generator of what you do, what you have, and what you are. It's not the truth. It's just a place to take a stand. No one can make you responsible, nor can you impose responsibility on another person. It is a grace that you give to yourself, an empowering context that leaves you with a say in the matter of life. Okay, what does this look like? Well, I had a few conversations today with a couple of clients. And for instance, one of the ways that you can do this in a conversation with somebody is to start to have them look, instead of asking them a direct question, it's to have them look from their own point of view. For instance, in working with somebody, what if you could ask the people that you're trying to train, if you could ask them questions to get the answers that you want from them, that you want to give them, i.e., you want to train somebody around something, therefore you ask a question such that when they think about the answer, that gives you what it is you want to teach them, what it is you want to share with them. Very clever, a little bit strategic, of course, and gives a huge opportunity for growth and development over there with the person. The other is, if you could have a way to connect with somebody such that they have the experience that they invited you to connect with them, what would that look like? Well, that's going to be the question that I leave you with today. And if you are interested, you can reach out to me and message me, and I'll get back to you. You can reach out to me by through my website, through my phone. Send me a conversation or request. I'd be more than happy to answer that. You can see my phone number and websites paging across the bottom here. In responsibility, you are listening for how can you be responsible for what you have said or done that has produced the result you're dealing with. Now, let's take the case of marriage or significant other. The opportunity here is if you create an upset with the other person, what can you do to be responsible for having created that upset? One, if that person, when you go out to dinner at night, were you late in getting home? Were you late in getting dressed? Was there a commitment that you gave did you go to a place that was equally agreed upon? If you're going to spend time together, what does that look like? Is that quality time, or is it quantity of time that you're looking for? Being responsible for these nuances and these details in a relationship takes the integrity of responsibility to the next level. You are being responsible, you are looking over there to see what would make a difference. In a significant other relationship, it would be what can make a difference that would make them happier, make their role easier, make their ability to ask a question of you a little bit easier, make their ability to step in on a conversation, to be able to connect with you at some time during the day, either frequently or infrequently, and for how long. What does that look like? The interesting thing about this is each person has that thought that they know what they want. They know it. The question is, are you willing to be responsible enough to ask all the questions to get that person thinking in a safe place where you're not going to bite their head off for their answer? You're going to allow them to say whatever it is they're looking for, even if it might upset you or might set you back a step or two. That becomes the opportunity. That becomes the exciting part of learning to be responsible at another level. In a workplace, as a team leader, being responsible for your team can sometimes mean there's 6 or a dozen people you're responsible for. And oftentimes I run into situations where the person I'm talking to, the manager, the leader, the team lead, is like, I am tired of being responsible for these people. They have no integrity. They're not willing to play the game. They're not being a team player. The questions that I start to ask is, if you are responsible for that, where do you start to look? Because it's easy to point the finger, and you know the old adage, one finger pointed out, there's 3 pointing back. Therefore, how do we start to create pathways for the minute we start to look over there for the fault or the blame or the shame? We immediately do the work here first. And it's very interesting when you take responsibility for a breakdown, and then you go to the other person and you say, look, I know we had a breakdown in a team meeting the other day, and here's what I can see I can be responsible for. 99% of the time, the other people step up their game. And they'll say, well, gosh, I could be responsible for coming with a notebook. I could be responsible for preparing a little more. I could come being responsible, dressed a little better. Now in this time of COVID-19, one of the things that I find very interesting is how people show up to these video meetings, to Zooms, to Skype, to Google Hangout, all of this. They have it that it's okay to not necessarily come professionally dressed. Hey, I'm at home. I can be a little bit more relaxed. Is that the top of your game, though? Are you being responsible for the top of your game? That's the challenge. I look forward to any questions that you might ask. I will get back to you in the messages. Feel free to reach out. Thank you very much for participating today. For those of you that have watched and viewed and commented, I appreciate you all. God bless.
Coaching with Les has doubled my practice.
If you have any struggles in your business or your personal life, Les is your guide.
He's logical, he's empathetic, he has passion for helping people, and his ideas are genuinely thoughtful.
So if you're looking for a business coach with integrity, choose Les Hill.